All right, we are back finally, and it's the most exciting time of the year to be a professional wrestling fan, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite pay-per-views of the calendar year, if not probably my favorite pay-per-view of the calendar year, or premium live event, or whatever they're calling it nowadays. It's Royal Rumble time. It's coming up in a few days, and I'm excited for this. I think the card is great. I think there's some unpredictability in both the men's and women's Rumble that we're going to talk about, but I also really like the two matches that we're getting on this card. So I think we're in for a banger of a Royal Rumble in Saudi Arabia here for the first time. As always, if you're a sports fan, wrestling fan, whatever, just sports entertainment, like we're going to cover it all on this channel. So like and subscribe, comment below any kind of videos that you want to see, any recommendations. But for now, let's jump into what I think is going to take place in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the 2026 Royal Rumble and who's going to set their path to Las Vegas for WrestleMania 42 in April. All right, I don't think there's an official match order so far, but I'm just going to go in the order I think it's going to be in. Let's start off with the Women's Royal Rumble. Like I said, a lot of unpredictability. There isn't, and this is something that I like about the Men's and Women's Rumble this year, there's not really a clear-cut, just obvious match that's going to take place, at least in my opinion, for the World Championships. Right now, I think we're going to get Jordynne Grace versus Jade Cargill at WrestleMania. I think that's kind of obvious. They're teasing it. I think that's the match. It's a big match. The problem is, does Jordynne Grace win the Royal Rumble? To me, no. I don't think she does. I think she wins Elimination Chamber. I think that she wins that match and punches her ticket to face Cargill at WrestleMania. So that leaves the Women's World Championship up for the opportunity to face that champion, who is currently Stephanie Vaquer, who I don't think is going to have the championship at WrestleMania. So let's just kind of dive into everything. She is in a feud right now with Raquel Rodriguez of Judgment Day. Is that the person that's going to take the title? I think yes. I think that Raquel wins the championship in between now and WrestleMania, and she goes into WrestleMania as champion. You can kind of see where I'm going with this already. I think we're going to have a Judgment Day showdown for the Women's World Championship at WrestleMania. Some other notable big names include Alexa Bliss, Charlotte Flair. I think that the path for them breaking up and having their singles match at WrestleMania starts this Saturday at the Rumble. I don't think either of them win it, though. I don't think that they're in contention for a World Championship. I think either of them could be later in the year. Not right now. I think that they have a feud of their own to settle between each other once they're done as a tag team, so I don't see it being either one of them. Don't see it being Becky Lynch or AJ Lee for the same reason I just mentioned. I think that they have their own singles match at WrestleMania against each other. I think that's obvious. I think that AJ comes back during this Rumble and eliminates Becky and reignites that feud. So while part of me would think it's awesome that AJ Lee wins the Rumble and punches her ticket to face a world champion at WrestleMania, don't think it's going to happen. Nikki Bella, haven't seen her in a little bit of weeks. Don't think she has a good program unless they want to go down the Stephanie route again, which please no. It was good for what it was, but not for a WrestleMania program. Bianca Belair, could she come back and win the Royal Rumble? There's a strong possibility out of all the names I've just listed. I think that she has the strongest chance, but I just don't see a program for her. I mean, you could have her fight Stephanie, but babyface, one of them turns heel. Maybe she goes after Cargill, and that's honestly a good match. I mean, that's the most likely option. But again, I think that Jordynne Grace is going to get that spot, or maybe we see a triple threat. Who knows? But circling all that back around, I think it's either Roxanne or I think it's Liv Morgan. It's because I think one way or the other, we're getting a Judgment Day triple threat match for the Women's World Championship with Raquel heading in as champion involving Roxanne and Liv. I think Liv wins the Royal Rumble this year. She's come up as runner-up so many times. I think it's finally her time. I think that she is the best option to win the Rumble. The fans are behind her. She's great. You can't really go wrong here. And you could, even if you want to, have her fight Raquel or even Stephanie. You could have her fight Stephanie one-on-one, and that's a WrestleMania match in my opinion, just because of the pure star power in both of those names. But I'm going to go Liv Morgan. Could be wrong, but I think that's the direction that WWE is heading, especially ever since Liv came back at Survivor Series. So let's book it. Liv Morgan to win the 2026 Women's Royal Rumble. All right, let's get into the two matches we have that are non-Royal Rumble matches. Let's start with the WWE Championship match. Drew McIntyre champion versus Sami Zayn challenger. I was convinced, and I think every fan was convinced, that Cody Rhodes was going to go into WrestleMania as champion. It seemed clear-cut. WWE had no intention of putting the title on Drew McIntyre by the looks of it. Out of nowhere, 3 stages of hell match, Drew wins the championship. Am I mad about it? Absolutely not. No, I love Drew as champion. I think it was a good call. It's a nice refreshment. I think that it spices things up heading into WrestleMania, because now I don't know what the WWE Undisputed Championship match is going to be. Drew could easily carry this thing into WrestleMania, so easily. But I think he could also easily drop it before Mania. And there's a chance it's Sami. There's a chance that maybe he defends it inside Elimination Chamber. Maybe Sami wins it and he defends it inside Elimination Chamber. There's a million ways that this could go. But, gosh, this is a tough one. This is really a tough one. I think a lot of people think this is a clear-cut Drew McIntyre retain. I don't think it's that way. I think that it could easily go any direction, because you could easily do something along the lines of Sami winning the Rumble. He goes into Chamber as champion. You have Drew in that match. You have Cody in that match. You have Jacob Fatu in that match. And then you could throw 2 other whoever's in there. A Damian Priest easily in that match. Aleister Black could easily be in that kind of match. There's a million different names you could put. A Trick Williams, Randy Orton. I mean, gosh, the list goes on. You could easily make a chamber match for the championship. And maybe Cody regains the WWE Championship in a chamber match like that. I love the unpredictability, because if Cody had retained all the way to WrestleMania, I think it's pretty obvious the match we would have gotten. And we might still get to that match. We'll talk about that match when we get to the Men's Rumble. But the unpredictability has been great. And as far as this match goes, look, I think we're going to get a banger here. I think we're going to get a hard-fought match. I could easily see a spot where Sami gets busted open, and he's really got to fight. I mean, he's going to have the whole crowd behind him in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But ultimately, I just think Drew retains. I think Drew retains because I think that Cody and Jacob and Drew are yet to pay off a triple threat match that I just think is so obviously going to happen. Whether it's with the championship or not, I tend to think it will be, and I tend to maybe think it could be a WrestleMania match, maybe. But I think we need to get that match in some form or another. Maybe Sami wins and he's involved and it's a fatal 4-way, but my gut's just telling me Drew is the obvious pick. So let's go with Drew McIntyre to retain. But honestly, out of all of these matches, I mean, obviously the Royal Rumble ones it's more unpredictable. There's 30 people in it. This is the one I'm the most torn about. And even the next match I'm kind of torn about. There's a lot of who knows what's going to happen on Saturday. There's a lot of those matches, which I love. But yeah, I'll take Drew to retain, but could easily see Sami winning this thing too for the big moment, because that's not something I want to put off to the side. If Sami Zayn wins the WWE Championship in Saudi Arabia, that crowd is going to explode. But part of me also thinks they might be saving that moment for Saudi and WrestleMania next year, 2027. So we'll see. Yeah, I kind of like that angle better, of like playing up the heartbreak. Maybe Sami loses the match, enters the Rumble, loses there, loses at Mania 42 in whatever program he's in, fights all the way back, wins whatever championship at Saudi Arabia WrestleMania 2027, WrestleMania 43. But yeah, I just yapped way too much about that single match. Give me Drew to retain, but could be wrong. Oh boy, the next one gets me. I'm not actually gonna cry or anything like that, but it's kind of emotional because, gosh, I love AJ Styles. I love AJ Styles. Yeah, AJ Styles versus Gunther. If AJ Styles loses, he retires. This one gets me a little bit because when I first started watching WWE in 2016 or 2015, 2016-ish. So AJ was pretty much just debuting, having his rookie year, and I loved him. I remember Backlash 2016 when they had just done the brand split, and there was SmackDown and Raw only pay-per-views. Dean Ambrose was the WWE champion at the time, now known as Jon Moxley. I really wanted AJ to win the championship, and they did it. They put the title on him, and I loved it. He just had such good matches. I mean, this was off of his SummerSlam match with Cena, his Money in the Bank match with Cena. So many good matches, and I was like, AJ needs to be the guy here on SmackDown, and he was. He won the title, and he was that guy on Friday night, or it wasn't even Friday night. I think it was Tuesday night SmackDown Live at the time. Yeah, I love AJ. He's been one of my favorites for the past 10 years of me watching WWE. Same kind of thing with Cena. And that's what I loved, those matches with AJ and Cena. And I'm just sitting here reminiscing on how good we had it with AJ Styles for 10 straight years. He came into WWE as a veteran and put on classics for 10 years in WWE. I mean, we haven't seen someone do something like that maybe ever. Just put on phenomenal matches right out the gate in WWE. So, and yeah, you can kind of see where I'm going with this pick because I'm reminiscing on AJ's career, thinking back on all the good times. I think that's because his career does come to an end on Saturday. As emotional and sad it is for me to say that because I love AJ Styles. I think he's great. He's phenomenal. No pun intended. Or pun intended, actually. He is phenomenal. But the way, and when they first announced this match, I was leaning AJ winning this match because I just thought there's no way this is it. I think they do maybe a third match with Gunther at Mania. No career on the line. You can have Gunther win that, and AJ can continue his little mini retirement tour. But after they announced the Nakamura match at Saturday night's main event, and that was a 20-minute classic, and then he came to Monday Night Raw, challenged for the World Heavyweight Championship, had a banger with CM Punk. It just seems like they're giving AJ his flowers for the past couple of weeks. It just seems too obvious. It seems too obvious that this is going to be Gunther because I think he's already retired Goldberg, already retired Cena. He's going to retire AJ. And I don't doubt that maybe he retires somebody else at WrestleMania. And then we've already know that Brock Lesnar's last match is going to be SummerSlam 2026 in Minneapolis. I think Gunther retires Brock. I mean, I just think they build Gunther up to be this guy that retired legend after legend. So this just adds to it. I mean, AJ is one of the best to ever do it, not just in WWE, but if you want to take your whole career into account, he could potentially be the greatest professional wrestler of all time. In ring, easily up there, top 5, without a doubt. I mean, you're talking him, you're talking Shawn, you're talking Bryan Danielson. I mean, he's right up there with those guys. So, yeah, if Gunther takes him out, I don't want to see AJ tap. I couldn't do it with Cena. I hope AJ doesn't do it as well. But it seems too obvious that this is Gunther's match to lose. So, I'm going to go, sadly, with Gunther to retire AJ Styles and set his sights on someone else to retire at WrestleMania. And we'll see where that program starts. All right, last match of the night. Let's talk about the Men's Royal Rumble. Like I said with the women's, and I feel even more strongly about this with the men's side of things, it seems so unpredictable this year. I mean, Punk, I could name 4 or 5 guys that he could face. I could name 3 people that could go into WrestleMania as champion for the WWE Undisputed title. I mean, let's just say Drew, Sammy, Cody, Fatu, 4. I'll even give it 4. Plus many people that could challenge for that belt at WrestleMania. It just seems so unpredictable. Whereas last year we kind of expected Cody to put the title on the line against Cena. We didn't expect the heel run, obviously, but we kind of knew that would be the match. I'll give it to him. Jay was unpredictable, but I don't know. There's everything about this year is unpredictable, but I've boiled down my final 4, and I think this will be the final 4 in the ring. I think we're going to have Cody, Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker, and Roman Reigns in there. Obviously, you're going to have some big guys like Brock Lesnar has declared for the Rumble. You're going to have the whole Vision. Maybe a Seth Rollins appearance, although I don't think that's very likely just because a torn rotator cuff, you can't really come back from that in 2-3 months, I don't think. But maybe he makes an appearance. There's obviously Chris Jericho rumors. Obafemi, I think, is going to debut at the Rumble, and he could very well win it, which would be interesting to just build a brand new program from scratch at the Royal Rumble. That would be interesting, but that's my final 4. I think Cody and Jacob end up costing each other in some way, shape, or form. They eliminate themselves at the same time or something along those lines. I don't know. One throws out the other, is taunting, and then gets thrown out. Something like that. I think that's the direction that we're going to go in with those 2, which I think leaves us with the final 2. And I could very well see this being the last 2 in the ring, and I kind of hope it is, Braun Breaker and Roman Reigns. And the reason I'm going to pick the person I'm going to pick is because I could see them challenging for either belt. If Braun wins the Royal Rumble, he's fighting CM Punk. Point blank period. And that would be fine, but we've kind of already seen it. We have already seen it. We've seen it on Raw. The first episode of Raw of the year. And it was a good match. It was a fun match. But we've already seen it, and to me, if you want that moment for Braun, you like give that to him at Mania. So like, I think Braun has other plans at WrestleMania. I think Seth does come back in time to start a feud with Braun Breaker at the Royal Rumble. Not at the Royal Rumble, I'm sorry. Sometime in between Rumble and WrestleMania, they kickstart their feud where they end up fighting at WrestleMania, which leaves me with the Tribal Chief. I'm going to take the head of the table to win the Royal Rumble, and I know that's what seems like an obvious pick to a lot of people. I don't think it's as obvious, but like I said, if Roman wins this thing, he can go in either direction. To me, he can fight the WWE Champion. He could go to the World Heavyweight Championship. CM Punk, Roman Reigns for the title, one-on-one. That's a WrestleMania Night 2 main event. Easily. So, a lot of different directions these guys could go. But I'm going to take Roman Reigns. I think it's the safe bet. I think it's the likely bet. And you could have him play up who he is going to challenge for weeks until we finally get an answer. So that's what I think. Who knows where this is going to go. I love the Royal Rumble. It's my favorite premium live event of the whole year. So I'll be watching midday on Saturday because it's in Saudi Arabia. I hope the crowd shows up. I think they will. But until then, we'll see you guys on the next video. Take it easy.